Hi, this is an update. This is Smith & Wesson 617. It's a revolver, 22 caliber. Uh, I got the gun, and what we did was we took it to the range, stock, didn't change anything on it. Had a front partridge style sight that I believe was 160 thousandths or something like that. And then it had a rear black sight. Took it to range, and everything worked well. I think we had two fail the fires out of maybe 250 to 300 rounds we shot on that first range session. The only thing we noticed is that other than the two fail the fires is that it was hard to eject the rounds sometimes. You almost needed two hands. You had to beat on that ejector rod with the heel of your hand to get the rounds out of the cylinder. And we thought maybe things were just snug and would loosen up. So this gun here, we right now we've got mollies. We put mollies. You can't dry fire this gun. So what we did, we saw this on the internet, was somebody said you can use number, I think, 4 to 6 mollies. These are actually 6 to 8. And what we did to them, they fit the cylinder very good, but the flange on them is a little bit large. So I just put them in a battery-operated drill and put them up against a belt sander, and we got them to pass through one of these hole gauges. I believe it's 290. This is a letter gauge. It's letter L. So once the flange of the molly fit through, let me show you here. So they all drop out. You take one of these flanges. We had to cut the flange down a little bit. Like I say, the rest of it fits, but you pass it through the L hole after you work it on the sander, and you're good to go. So there it is. That makes the gives you a full engagement on those recesses. Gives you a full engagement on the recesses, so that there's no worry about the firing pin hitting anything on the cylinder barrel at all. So that was worked out nice. But once again, the fail of fire, 2 of them on the second range session. We took it after the first range session. We installed a high-vis green sight on the barrel. We made a video on that, and it went pretty smooth. Excellent. When you're at the range, if you're in any type of normal lighting, that high-vis, she really pops when you bring it up. Over the black sight is a major improvement, so I would recommend that to anybody. Back to the cylinder, and at the second range session, we had the same issue. Had a hard time getting shells to come out. Basically, you turn the gun upside down. Obviously, one hand's working. This could not be done. So you had to take your second hand, and you had to use the heel of it and use it like a hammer against the end of that ejector rod to get the spent shell casings to come out. What we found is that we took a number. It's a number 1 drill, actually, and that number 1 drill measures 228 thousandths of an inch. And if you roll the cylinder around so that cylinder number 1 is facing up, and the way I came up with cylinder number 1 was when you push the ejector rod out, there's a flat on it. So that flat is directly in line with one of the cylinders. So pointing the flat straight up at the 12 o'clock position, and the chamber at the 12 o'clock position, I'm calling number 1. So it turns out that 228 drill that we got right here on chamber number 1 will not go in. So that will not pass in. Chamber number 2, the drill will set in on its own. Chamber number 3, again, the drill won't go in. 4, it's snug, but it goes in. And on around. I think it's snug on 4 of them, but it'll actually go in. But chamber 1 and 3, for whatever reason, on a brand new gun from Smith & Wesson, is undersized. Go figure. So obviously we got to contact Smith & Wesson on this, give them a call and find out what their thoughts are about this, and why those 2 cylinder chambers or cartridge chambers are a little bit undersized, and why the brand new gun from them, and we clean this really well to make sure that there's nothing in those chambers, but why those are undersized. So this is probably going to have to go back to Smith & Wesson. Again, Smith, for whatever reason, you see a lot of guys talking about it on the internet, but for whatever reason, Smith's quality control right now is just not the best. Their customer service, the people are fantastic on the phone, but their quality control on the stuff leaving the factory, for whatever reason, they need to work on that. I think Ford Motor Company went through this years ago, and they really got it turned around. Well, whatever Ford did, Smith needs to take note and pick up on that, because this is it's terrible that you should have stuff made in the United States of America and just not made the way it should be made. Okay, that's it for now. We'll let you know what Smith ends up doing, and once the gun comes back, what we find. We're just hoping that they don't mess up the new sight that we put on this gun, or mess anything else up. The trigger pull on this is it's rough on this gun. I got, like I say, maybe 500 to 600 rounds through it, and the trigger is starting to come around a little bit. But brand new, that's why we made these mollies. You just basically have to keep dry firing this gun to loosen this trigger up, because it's terrible. I don't know what else to say. It's bad out of the box. I don't know if that was another issue with this gun, but it's just the trigger pull, and I've seen other people talk about it. It's just not the best. I'm told that rim fire cartridges, because they fire off the rim. I'll show you some of these spent cartridges here. I don't know if it'll focus on that, but you know, they fire on the edge of the rim there, and because of that, it needs an extra oomph. So the mainsprings on these guns are supposedly heavier, but still, when you pull the trigger on this thing, even though the mainspring is heavier, you can kind of feel a clunkety clunk as you're pulling on the trigger, and that's what's fatiguing, is that the clunkety clunk that you're going through. So anyhow, we'll get this back to Smith. We'll give them a call first and see what they say, and we'll give you an update, hopefully once it comes back and all works well. Alright, thanks for watching.